Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's podcast. And I have the absolute pleasure of introducing you to Lawrencia. And Lawrencia is a public speaker to do with the mind health and advocate for good state of mind, mental well-being. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here, Lawrencia.
You're welcome. Hi, Emma. How are you doing? I'm happy to
I,
be here.
I'm doing great, and I was we've just said I've done the usual thing of we've come on the podcast and just making sure everything's ready to go. And we've been having an amazing chat. And I've said I've
Yeah.
got to click record. This is gold. This
Yes.
is what people need to hear. So yeah, no, it's an absolute pleasure having you on. And I wanted to start by just saying, and so we can tell the audience that we were talking about how lonely this world can be, with depression, anxiety, addiction, you name it, it can be. There's a lot of stigma out there, and we want to banish all stigma as much as possible. And you came up with a great analogy about being
The
alone
relay
or
race. Yeah.
feeling alone.
Yes.
Explain to everyone what you were saying.
Okay. So what I was saying before when we started, what I was trying to talk about was just where you started. I'll just continue where you started of the feeling of being alone. I was saying initially that depression, frustration, suicide, I was using suicide as an example. I said no one commits suicide with people around. I mean, if I want to kill myself, for example, I'm tired of whatever I'm experiencing. I want to just go to the park where everyone's having fun. I'm like, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna kill myself. I mean, no one would really even take me serious in a way. They would say, "Oh, she's just joking or something." If anyone wants to do something like that, most of the cases which sadly we have heard about, they go to secluded places or they stay at home and lock the doors or wait for their roommates to go out of the room or something. Why? Because there is a lot of things, permit me to say, a lot of negative things that thrive when we are alone. And one of which is depression, one of which is frustration. It's funny because if I'm carrying a basket or a bucket or a bag or whatever, and let's say it's has some sort of weight and I'm like trying to lift it up. If I see someone approaching me, someone that I feel can help with lifting the burden, with lifting the bag, whatever it is, psychologically, the bag psychologically feels lighter. Psychologically, it feels lighter because I'm like, oh, someone is communicating. That's good. That's good. But when I'm not seeing anyone around me, when I'm just alone trying to lift it up left, right, and center, and I'm like, oh, it's so heavy, and I'm pushing, I'm doing it with my two hands, and I'm trying to use my feet again and do a lot of drama. Oh, psychologically, the bag feels heavier
Yeah.
because I'm not only trying to lift the bag, I'm trying to lift it even with my emotions, not just with my strength. And it's looking as if it's not budging. And sometimes in anger, you just kick the object and you're like, no, I'm tired, everything like that. And that's pretty much what happens in most cases. When we pass through a lot of challenges, addictions, for example, and you feel you're alone in it, you feel I'm depressed, nothing is moving, my life's a wreck, I don't know where to start. I'm addicted to this, I'm addicted to that, my health is declining, I have a lot of bills because of this, and you feel you're alone. You place that problem, you place that addiction much, much above you. So it feels heavier, it feels weightier, it feels more powerful. But when you are in a place where you see that, yes, I know I have these things, but I'm not the only one in it. And I'm not the only one with that story that have come out of it. You psychologically feel that this thing, I'm going to come out of you no matter what. I gave the analogy of a relay race. I said a relay race has about four runners for each team or for each country or depending on the level of the competition. I said in each level of the race, you are alone. For example, the person with the to run the first leg, to run the first half of it, like to run the first stage, runs it alone. But in the whole race, there are four people. It's the same thing with us. In our lives, in whatever I'm passing through, in whatever addiction it is, you can be alone. But in the whole race, there are like four sets of people. The first person is myself. Now, what do I mean by myself? The person actively, currently undergoing that level of addiction. I'm using addiction as an example. The person actively, currently undergoing that level of addiction. Now, that person can exist in four levels. The first level is the past. I don't want to call it the past, but I would explain what I mean by the past. I mean the source of the addiction. I give an example. I said, when we were talking earlier, I talked about being bullied in school. I said I had some negative experiences a lot while I was in school. It affected my whole preschool levels and school levels before I went into college or the university, as I do call it. A lot of things. I had a lot of experiences with being bullied with people, both male and female. Everyone bullied me. Now, that first part of me, I will call it the first level. I'll call it the past, the source, the people that bullied me, the words they spoke to me, the abuses, the insults, the scolds, the shouts, all those things is the first part of me. The second part of me is that part of me that presently is presently suffering from what that level did, from what stage two did. That is the current part of me. The third part is the part of me that can heal from it. The fourth part is the part of me that can speak to people about it and, is matured and is much, much over it. Most times, many people oscillate between stage two, stage three, go back to stage one, come back to stage two, try to dibble a little into stage three, come back to stage two again. And that is most times what happens. Why is that the case? It's the case because we cannot successfully get to the stage four without people around us. I can have all these negative experiences. I was bullied, I'm an addict, I was raped, I was this, I was that. Maybe my partner beats me up. I had negative relationship experiences. My mental health, I'm just lost right now. It's perfectly normal. Stage one can be hell for all I care. It can be as dark as the darkest of the darkest pits. It's perfectly normal. There's just nothing to judge yourself about in stage one. Everyone has stage one, even me, even I don't know. I feel everyone has a stage one. So when you say, God, do you know what my stage one is? My husband did beat me to death. I was close to death. The next relationship I entered, oh boy, that was the Mark Tyson. He boxed me up. The next, don't beat yourself about stage one. It's like a child beating himself up about being a month old. And it's like, why am I still a month old? I want to be 10-year old. You're gonna get there. Just it's a matter of time. Just wait, just wait. And when you're 10, it's normal. But the stigma in our world today is if you have a stage one, you are like the devil. You are like, I
You're
don't know,
defective.
exactly. But there is nothing wrong about stage one. Stage one can be as messy as anything. It's understandable because it is stage one. Now, using the relay race as an example, the person running that first stage can be as slow as anything. It's understandable. He's going to pass the baton over. And the person in stage two can double it. The person in stage three can double it. And you can see that team or country getting the World Cup or the whatever it is, the prize.
Yeah.
So when you're in stage one, in fact, it's perfectly normal to fail. You didn't know what you were doing when you entered that relationship. Why are you beating yourself up about it? Yes, everyone warned you, but you just wanted to experience love for yourself. So, I mean, it's not a problem. Oh, yes, you had some mix with bad crowds. You had a lot of bad friends at a time in your life, and then you got into drinking, drugs, smoking, blah, blah, blah. Good, it's normal, it's understandable. You just didn't know. That's fine. If we do not get to this understanding, especially in the stage one, we can't do anything much, even in stage two. It's stage two just feels like a prison, feels like hell because you relieve stage one in stage two. Now, stage one, for example, I'm just giving myself as an example. Let's say I was bullied by a guy called whatever, called Mike. Let's just use Mike, like an arbitrary name.
Yeah.
Now, Mike bullied Lawrencia in stage one. And then I'm all down about it. My mental health is bad. I see myself as a stupid, ignorant, foolish individual. I have no perspective. I have no future. I'm timid. I'm shy. I'm whatever it is. Name all the names. That's who I am. That's stage one because Mike did it to Lawrencia.
Yeah.
In stage two, Lawrencia is presently experiencing what Mike did in stage two. But Mike's no more in stage two with me. What happens in stage two is I become my psychological Mike. I become the mental Mike. So Mike's gone. Mike has a family now. He's enjoying his life. He's traveling around the world. He doesn't even know what he did to Lawrencia.
Yeah.
And somewhere in the corner of the world, a Lawrencia is reliving Mike all over again just because she's still in stage two and she has refused to let go of stage one. Most times that's what happens to us. I'm not judging anyone. It's understandable because the trauma was so immense and you can't see yourself ever coming out of it. That's fine. But that's because that was a stage. You're
Yeah.
not there now, are you? No. You're not in the relationship anymore, are you? No. You're not with the bad friends that introduced you to drugs and alcohol and raped you. You're not there anymore, are you? No. So whether
Mhm.
you like it or not, stage one is gone.
Yeah.
It's because we see stage one, I become Mike to myself. And that's the worst kind of Mike. Because that kind of Mike is a Mike that would never go away.
Yeah.
That Mike will never go away. I can get into a new relationship with a guy. Probably Mike used to beat me in stage one, used to bully me in stage one, maybe because I was much smaller. I had a small physique and people want to look down on you. Oh, blah, 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 and all's fine. I can get into a relationship with a guy in stage two with all the muscles in the world, but I will still see Mike in me or in that person because he hasn't left in stage one. So what I used to beg people most times is this. No one cares about stage one if you have left there. The only time stage one will really matter is, are you still in that relationship with that person? Are you still with that company of friends? Are you still with the person that raped you? Are you still with the people that introduced you to being an addict? Are you still with these? No, I left there. I left there 10 years ago. I left there 3 years. I just had to leave. You've left. Good. Done. Stage one's over. But when we leave and we take all these things with us, which is normal, which is understandable, we become our own mics. The greatest addicts, I feel, are not the ones that had a physical source of wherever the addiction came from. They are the ones that have become their own source. And
Yeah.
those type of addicts, those type of individuals, excuse me, please, those type of individuals would never really want to see any other thing besides stage two. I'm currently passing through this. I'm currently doing this. You don't understand how it's weighing me down. Yes, I understand, but you are no more there. So let's talk about life after, not life before. A lot of things can change. And that's the biggest understanding we need to get. Now, in stage two, what do we do? I've had a bad past. I had a bad marriage. I had a bad friendship. I had a bad contact with people. In fact, I had whatever it is. All the stigma is what happens because people feel, oh, you've done that. Oh, please, she's defective. She's this, she's that, he's this, he's that. The society sometimes doesn't really help us, truth be told, because the society makes you feel if you have a bad stage one, then you're just pretty much bad in stage two, three, and four, which is not the truth. So the society has a lot to play in making
Yeah.
people feel they do. Yes, they do have a lot to play. And that's why such gatherings, like these kinds of podcasts or this type of messages, is very important. Because while we have a big chunk of our society that stigmatizes us, I feel we should have a commensurate level of society that encourages us. So that's why when I talk of these kinds of things, I'm so elated. I'm so happy when I see such gatherings because we really have to do a lot of things, a lot. We have a lot to do in trying to, turn the tides back to know it's not normal for you to have a bad stage one. We don't want to normalize, rape or normalize addiction or normalize all those things. No. But we want to encourage you to tell you it's not the end. It's in fact, you can have a much, much brilliant life if you want to. So what do I do in stage two? Now in stage two, this is me beaten and battered by Mike. I have a lot of bruises, emotional bruises, psychological bruises, probably even physical bruises. I have a lot of, defective mental thinking. My mind is a wreck. I don't know what to do. I just see myself as an addict. That is perfectly normal. But the first thing I have to do is this. I need to know, where do I stand now? And what do I want to do with my life? Mike beat me up. Mike made me hell. Mike did this. Mike did that. Fine, I accept what Mike did. But where do I stand now? What do I want now? I need to value myself enough, love myself enough to leave Mike out of the picture and look at me and say, okay, but I want to have a healthy life. I want to be happy. I want to just look at myself in the mirror and have this good self-esteem about myself. I don't want to keep seeing Mike everywhere. Now that's different from me looking at myself in the mirror and saying, oh, see what Mike did to me. Oh, see this. Oh my God, that. Oh, do. You are just empowering Mike. But me doing it other ways, oh, Mike did this to me, but I want this. Mike said this, but I want to be this. I experienced this, but I want this. The desire alone, that desire for what I want to do with my life alone is the first step of healing. Because with
Taking
that,
your
I
power
see
back.
exactly, I see myself bigger than mine. Have you noticed that some people that do have some abusive relationships tend to go back to such partners or never really leave such partners? For
Yeah.
example, someone confides in you and says, "So whoever beats me, my partner beats me up, he or she is domestically, violent with me and all of that." And no matter how long you do to tell the people, okay, why don't you just leave the person? I mean, just go. They never really leave. Excuse me, sorry. They never really leave, or they leave and come back. Why? Because they don't have that power. They don't take it back. They feel it's this person is part of me. This person defines me. This person explains me. This person is my essence. Without taking your power back, we can't start stage two. Because in stage two, there is no more Mike, and I no more need to see Mike. I only need to see me. I only need to see me. And why do I only need to see me? Because I'm enough. I am enough for myself.
Well said. Yeah.
I am enough for myself. Yes, I was in a bad association and I wanted to, I wanted to feel along. I wanted them to love me. I wanted them to like me. I just didn't want to feel like I'm an old school person. So I did everything they wanted me to do. I became an addict. I went into drugs, blah, blah, blah. And all good. You were trying to prove a point to them. Unfortunately, the point has proved you. Good. You are in stage one. That was the stage one. That's fine. In stage two, you're not proving any point to anyone anymore. You are enough for yourself. So I don't need to smoke or drink or blah, blah, blah. Yes, I'm enough. So we need to bring ourselves alone into stage two, not the psychological mic that controls us, not the little Lawrencias, as we said, that controls us. When we start that, a lot of other things will begin. It's not an automatic process. So, I mean, it's not something that, okay, fine, I'm done, I'm enough, I'm this. And then all of a sudden, all the thoughts of it goes away. The pain will leave. No, 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 it's not that easy. Definitely, it's not easy. But it's the beginning of a healing process that stage three is all about. That's the beginning. So the healing doesn't really mean that, oh, I was this, I was that, and that's it. No. The healing firstly means I am more than enough for myself. Yes, Mike beat me up and made me feel this, but he did that because he was less of a person and he needed someone to exercise some sort of authority over to make him feel good. He didn't do it because I am stupid, I'm foolish, I have no future, I'm a wreck, I'm a this, I'm a that. No, you take your power back and call the victim, but not me. Oh, I was in a company, I was raped, I was this, I was that. Yes, they did it to you. But they did that because they have some stupid sexual orientation. They have no control for themselves. They are as immature as anything, not because of me. I'm taking my power back. So the question I do ask a lot of people is, why do you think that bad thing happened to you? Why do you think you experienced that? Oh, because of this, because I don't know, my life is this. Oh, you haven't taken your power.
Yeah.
Why do you think, for example, I'm a pharmacist from back home. Now, I did have a lot of challenges initially in school before getting into pharmacy school. I had a lot of failures. So I would write some exams, I would fail. I would do this, I would fail. I never really knew how much that affected my mental health until I passed. But I'll go into that story probably sometime later. But my point from that incident is this. If you ask me then why I failed, I would say it's just me. I failed because I failed. I'm a failure. I'm a this, I'm a that. I never really saw the incidences separate from myself. Rather, I saw myself in the incidences. So if I want to say define failure, I would most likely put myself in the definition for failure. Mm-hmm. Than put failure outside me. That's what most of us are doing. If you speak to most people and ask, okay, why this, why that? They put themselves in it. You are not in it. That's the first biggest message I try to pass. You passed through it, but you are not in it. You passed through a bad marriage, but you are not the bad person. You passed through a bad friendship, a bad company, but you are not a bad person. There is something good in you.
And when you were doing this about passing your exams, was it what were you doing this process before you passed, or did you realize this after you had passed
I
your
realized
exams?
it after I passed. Well, not most times. Why is because I had failed. I did not see anything to tell me I was successful, or I was intelligent, or I was brilliant. I mean, if someone did tell me, I would say, you don't know what you're talking about. Did you just see that I failed? So, and that's the issue because most times we literally pass through a lot of the problems before we kind of start to do stage two. And that's why I'm an advocate for such mental health talks because I can pick someone still in stage one and passing through this process, and I can be your stage two voice before you get to stage two. I don't know if you get what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
obviously, if you allow that's the person actively passing through that incident, if you allow that person to take his or her time before getting to stage two, it may be a series of failures in my case, a series of years of addiction, a series of stigma upon stigma upon stigma. And I feel that's not necessary. It can be shortened. I failed and failed. I just kept failing. I started failing myself intentionally to make it worse. I became an addict to stage one, like an addicted stage one person, if there is a word like that. And my big break came, what exactly sponsored it? I think is I met a guy, a friend of mine, I think, and he began some little reorientation. And I think that's where I started having some sort of change of mindset. That's why the power of association is very beautiful. So what happens stage two is pretty can happen personally. Some people are strong enough, they can come to a point and tell themselves, I'm done with this, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm leaving and I'm leaving. And they would really leave and put themselves out there and put themselves first. Not everyone can be that strong. For those that are not strong, some sort of associations can really, 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 really help. And that's why, as I said, I'm an advocate for this. So stage two is the current person that, that has just left stage one, but is not currently in stage one. So stage two has to talk about you have passed through it, but you are no more in it. Many people are there. So many people are either in stage one, actively still passing through it, still having the bad marriage, and they are still in the bad marriage, still having the bad relationship, the addiction, the whatever it is, they are still in there. Some other people are in stage two. They've just left, about to leave, talking to themselves differently. I deserve more. You don't have to beat me up. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm better than this. I don't have to keep smoking. I don't have to keep drinking everything I can find my money to buy. I'm more than this bottle. I'm more than that. Some people have started that in stage two. Living it, they are no more seeing themselves in it. They have passed through it, but not in it. Talking to themselves, doing all these things. Some people are practically in that stage. Now, just to mention before I go to stage three, stage two can be as long as a lifetime.
Mm.
Why? Is because it's I think it's like the borderline, it's like the boundary where you either cross or you stay. What do I mean? Stage two is that part that you tell yourself, I'm doing this or I'm not doing it. Meaning, I'm leaving or I'm not leaving. And for some of us, it can take us a long time to get there. Why? Because some people just feel there is nothing for me without it. I'm nothing if I don't leave. I just have to stay. So it takes a long time to pump in some self-esteem, to pump in some self-respect, to pump in some self-love, to pump in some self-confidence to them. And sometimes external sources. So where are the external sources? Most of the sources externally will stigmatize them. So it's really, 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 really a difficult game. But stage two is that defining point because healing actually starts in stage two, but progresses in stage three. Now, stage three is, as I said, the healing phase. Definitely, certainly, you're out of stage one in stage three. You've put yourself in the picture in stage three, by stage three, rather. You've put yourself in the picture means you're no more defining yourself by whatever happened. Little Lawrencia is dying or dead. Little Lawrencia is dying or dead, practically. I'm discovering the big Lawrencia. Who am I actually behind without the bullying or failures? It's fun because now I talk about this. I have a friend of mine, we were quite close at the beginning. She had a relationship with a particular person. It was not abusive physically, but it was demanding physically. The danger, I hope I'm not going too far beyond what I want to talk about because I don't want to
No,
lose my
you're
focus.
fine.
Okay. But the danger with such sort of relationships is a physically demanding relationship will psychologically tilt the scale. So if the individual doesn't have much self confidence in themselves, it will definitely deter their emotional thinking about themselves because they will see themselves as the best of me is to give this person this, is to do this for this person, is to do that for this person. They don't value themselves in any of it. So I was in such a friendship. I just met the lady arbitrarily. So she was with a guy at the time. She kept demanding things, blah, 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 and all. And so she felt her purpose, her importance, her use was to do whatever this person says you should do. Good, bad, ugly, nasty, not just she just kept doing. Long story short, the person left her and then she broke. And then
Mm,
I stepped into the picture and there was a whole lot of processes, but we started trying to get her out of stage one, into stage two, in stage three. Now, why I'm mentioning this is because at stage three, she could see herself outside pleasing this person. So, for example, she could put on a cloth, for example, and like the dress for her, and not like the dress because, oh, if this person was here, he would like it. Or she could go out there and any random guy or any whoever or any person, that tells you you're beautiful, she doesn't measure it with the way the guy would have told her she's beautiful. That's what stage three is. That's the little Lawrencias in us. The little Lawrencias or the little, whatever it is, are those parts of us that whispers in the voices of Michael. And that little voice will mean a lot. Will mean a lot to big Lawrencia. The
yeah.
little voice of fear, the little Michael's voice, the little this, the little that, they can still be in stage two because I just left stage one. So it's definitely expected. And in stage two, I'm still telling myself, no, it's not. Little Loretta's voice is not my voice. This is my voice. I'm still, reorienting myself. I'm still finding my feet. I'm still finding me. In stage three, they should have either been dying a silent death most times or been dead. In stage three, the healing starts when I am my own voice. I then see myself beyond that. Now, the best thing about stage three healing processes is the power of association. I would say that because I don't think I can be wrong. I don't know, but I feel it's very, very important that people realize how powerful someone can be to help you through a process, especially if the person has been through it or if the person understands what you feel, because it would really help lift the burden. It would really, really help. Stage three, I feel, is that kind of stage where you are limping because you're just trying to come out of stage two. You're battling little Lawrencias here and there. So it's been a sort of like a battle, a sort of a fight, that kind of thing. So you've had some injuries still from stage one trying to heal. So I think stage two is that point where I see like someone holding a wounded person and trying to help the person walk properly, trying to help the person run, trying to help the person get to a destination. Okay, I'll hold your bag for you. Why don't you lean on me? Okay, let's keep going. Don't worry, you can do it. I know you're tired, but you can do it. Oh, you did try to you relapsed. Don't worry. That's what I think stage three is all about. And why I really, 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 really would say it that way is because if we are to heal properly, even our physical bodies, if our physical bodies is to heal properly, it needs help from various sources. The cells, the skin in the area is already injured, so there is no hope there. It takes from various sources. Everything comes together to put a cloth, to put a mesh over the wound for it to heal. So there is both external sources, there's both internal sources. All the sources possible are being deployed to help it heal. So stage three is that part of us where we release ourselves to people that can help. We release ourselves to material that can help. Books, movies, if there are any, videos, music, podcasts that can help. Stage three is that time where you see that I wasn't alone in this. Someone is there. And the beauty of it is the world is so big right now. So you can literally see someone that passed through almost exactly the same thing, or even worse. And who knows, that person is doing fine in whatever field or whatever aspects. So that's stage three. Stage three is taking out the garbage, bringing in new garbage. In stage two, I was taking out the garbage. I'm not little Lawrencia. I know this voice is not mine. I'm not Mike. I'm me. I'm this. I'm that. Getting my power back. Stage three, I'm receiving new lights. I'm hearing new information. And stage three can be one person helping you, can be, a group, can be an association, can be a podcast, can be whatever it is. But anything that gives you the desired mental healing that you need. And then finally, stage four is that part of us that literally carries the trophy. How do you know you've healed from a situation? Very simple. When you don't feel, I wouldn't say when you don't feel the pain, but let me put it this way. How you know you've healed from a situation is when you feel the pain, not of what the thing did, not of what you did. Like, for example, I did this, I did that, I did this. Oh God, I did this. I was bullied. I was bullied. I was beaten. I was broken. My life shattered. Not the pain of what you did, but the pain of what it did to you. Let me explain it this way. So I was bullied in school. Yes, and I saw myself that way. And it affected me all through. I just kept seeing myself as a failure. Everyone talks down at me. Nothing. I can't speak out. I can't do a podcast. I couldn't do anything. So how do I know I've healed? I know I've healed when I'm talking of what bullying did to me. Now, literally. And I'm speaking not as a victim, but just as someone that encountered or that experienced it. And that's all. I'm not talking of what I did. Like, I was bullied because I'm this. I was bullied because I'm timid, because I'm this, because I. So you see the reverse in the statement. That's
Yeah.
how at least you can say you are healing or you have healed. And so when I say what it did to me, and I'm saying it in a form of encouragement or assistance to help someone out there, then there should be some sort of healing for that person. You can say the person has healed. And I would always advocate when we get to stage four, don't just celebrate and stay there. No, you need to continually stay active, continually tell yourself who you are, continually speak to yourself. You need to do these things continually because the healing is not really a one-off process. It's continuous. It's, it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. So I think that's how I will explain it.
I
I
love
think I've
that.
said a lot.
That that was brilliant. Yeah, it was so clear throughout. And it's funny, when I was talking to Rebecca, we were talking about how therapy should be something that's part of life, that talking in addiction, it's not something that you can do on your own. And picking up that
Yeah.
phone, just reaching out to somebody, as you said, whether it's on Facebook to a friend or the Samaritans, or if you've got a supportive family, picking up that phone before it gets to that point where you get all the way down back to the bottom of stage one, before you start having to try and heal again. And because the shame, there can be a lot of shame from relapsing, like
Yes.
somebody's failed. And I think that people need to relapse to realize where they've come from and how far that they've progressed. I don't see it as a failure, because if you relapse, identify the reasons for that relapse, you can stop that from happening again. And it's not going to take you weeks, months, years to get from level 1 to 2, stage 1 to 2. You've already got the tools in your toolbox. You know how to use them. You've just got to find them again and work your way up. So that made complete sense. It was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, and why I would definitely agree what you're saying is because we actually relapse in a lot of things. I mean, for example, I did try to make some soft pies some weeks ago. The first time I did it was nonsense. I couldn't eat it. Just I just followed the recipe online and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna try this." I bought everything and oh, I was so eager to do it and did all the mix according to how I thought it was supposed to be, but it didn't really turn out great. It was bad. I said, "Okay, I'm gonna try this again." I put myself in there, got some energy to do it again. That didn't really come out too good as well. I think the third one was still bad. It was at the fourth that it started getting better. Now, that's like just using food as an example. Someone's trying to learn how to drive. The first time is crazy. You thought you're gonna hit someone. I'm scared. I'm gonna hit somebody. Oh my God. Definitely is expected. The second time is expected. Third time is expected. A couple of times you can still have that, shaky feeling and all. And before you know you're driving for years and it doesn't really feel like anything anymore. That's understandable. You never really got tired of yourself because you were scared of driving the first few times. You kept driving. You didn't really beat yourself up because you didn't make some wonderful pies the way you expected. You kept trying. Another example I would like to give is maybe starting a new product or starting anything like you used something for the first time, didn't really come out great. You tried again, you tried again, you tried again. That's fine. If I was patient with myself in all these things, I learned how to drive, I learned how to make the pie, I learned how to do this. Even parenting, for example. You had your baby, you were all scared. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm dying. Why did I try this? Why did I do this? Oh, and
Yeah.
you did it. You got all scared, and then you got used to the flow, and then you saw new things, and before you know it, you get used to it. If we are patient with ourselves and all these things, why can't we be patient with ourselves mentally? I just don't know why that aspect is just different. Why do we feel so impatient? I mean, I would definitely expect a relapse if I use all these examples because I was patient with myself. The first time I made the pie, it was worse. I tried again, it was worse. That's a relapse. Tried again, it was worse. Tried again, it was bad. Tried, finally, it worked. So if I could make a pie, that's just the pie. Why can't I be patient with me? This is me I'm talking about here. I mean, I'm pretty much better than a pie if you'd ask me. So why can't I value myself enough to be patient with myself? So when people tell me I'm not doing this again, I mean, I went back there. What did you expect? Did you just expect to be, great overnight? No. And I would ask them some sort of questions. Okay, have you done this? They said yes. So how was it the first few times? Oh, it was bad. I was bad at this. I mean, I did this, it was bad, blah, blah, blah. Oh, so how about now? Oh, I'm pretty good now. I'm pretty good in it now. Oh, that's great. And then I asked them some other thing. They say the same thing. I'm like, so it took you a while to learn from here, right? They said yes, but you finally got there, right? Yeah. And that's just that. Yeah, that's just that. How much more you? So it still boils down to who we see ourselves as. Some of us, not all of us, can be patient with everything, just not me. And the reason is because we kind of have a unhealthy expectation for ourselves. If you want to heal, the first thing you need to do is to cut down any expectations. So I tell myself, okay, for example, we're in December now, yeah. okay, by January, I should be done doing this. Are you joking? Are you literally joking? Are
Yeah.
you joking? It took me how many weeks to learn a pie? And you're telling me by January, are you joking? And then when January comes and, it's like they never even started or nothing even changed. They feel so overwhelmed. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. If I value myself enough, I should give myself time enough. Not time, but time enough. Now, there is a big difference. That's what people don't understand. People always think that I give myself time is time enough. No, you give yourself time doesn't mean it's time enough. It just means you started. I started to try the pie. Once was not time enough for the pie for me. Twice was not time enough. Three times wasn't time enough. I think it was the fourth time that started to be time enough. At least I could eat the fourth one and, see some things. Okay, I'll do this next time at four. What am I trying to say? There is time and time enough. When people start to do all these things, like starting the journey to come out, starting the journey to heal, starting the journey to leave stage two, it definitely demands time. But you need to be ready not just to give it time, but to give it time enough. Why? Because you don't want to be here and there. I don't want to go to stage two and then go back to stage one and stay in stage one. No, I want to get to stage four, and it can only take time enough to get to stage four. It can take time to get to stage two. It can take time as well to even get to stage three, kind of, but not really. But it needs time enough to get to stage four. Let me give another example. Pregnancy. It takes time to get pregnant. Now, what do I mean? If someone gets pregnant now, in a month's time, the person is still pregnant. 2 months from the line, the person's still pregnant. 3 months, 4 months, the person's still pregnant. And I think at 3 months, depending on the individual, these things vary sometimes. It starts to show. So everyone says, oh, she's pregnant. Oh, that's a little bit bump. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, you're having a baby. And it keeps going like that. Time is showing the pregnancy, but it is not yet time enough to birth the baby.
Mm.
So she's not really bothered that the baby's not out yet. No, it's just 4 months. I've still got some time. 5 months come, 6 months come. She's still pregnant. Oh God. No one really tells her, like, you've been pregnant for 6 months. When is the baby gonna come out? I mean, that's such a long time. If anyone says that, you look at the person like, oh, you sure you're okay? Are you really fine? Because everyone knows it's not 6 months. Now we know all these things. Why don't we just do it for us? And at 9 months, it becomes time enough. So there is time when these things show, oh, I'm leaving stage one now, blah, 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 blah. Because you had so much energy doesn't mean it was time enough. Maybe the pregnancy just started showing. What does that mean? Maybe you just started, putting yourself in the picture and getting Mike out. And then you think, okay, you've done a lot. Oh, the baby should come out. I should get to stage four. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Nothing works that way. The only thing that makes this a little hard is because the pregnancy example I used, for example, everyone knows it's 9 months, or at least kind of, it's like 9 months, kind of. Like that's the normal thing people say. So it's normal to expect if someone's pregnant now, okay, let's say 9 months, we should, see a baby. It's normal, all things being equal, without any issues, blah, blah, blah. Or it's normal to say it that way. But when you talk about things like this mental issue, there is no time. So people feel I put 1 month of work. God, that's a lot. I've been doing this for 2 months. That's a lot. When is it gonna end? And that's where the issue is. You can't put a time to your mental health because your mental health is you. I can't put a time to me. I can't say, okay, by tomorrow I want to die. I mean, oh, tomorrow is good to die, right? It's me living the life and I want to keep living it. So why do you put Why? I don't know. I think all these things are products of, environmental stigmas. So because the environment has, put some shame and all, you just quickly want to come out and tell yourself, I'm free, I'm done. And then because of that, you relapse and relapse and keep relapsing, and then you just get to the bottom of stage one. But that's not the case. Your mental health is you. The baby was not you. So the baby had to come out at a particular time. I mean, I was sharing my body with the baby. That's it. So I need to get my body back. Hello? So it's understandable. But this is me. So I can't put a time to me being me. No, it's for life. And that's why I said, even at stage 4, you can't just say, oh, I'm done now. Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Oh, good. Yes. Oh, no. You keep telling yourself, you keep growing into better versions of yourself. So my advice to, the cases of relapse is very simple. Why are you timing you? You don't do that. And another thing I tell them is, if you were patient with other aspects of your life that didn't even matter as much as this, then why can't you just be patient with you? The funny thing is, we don't know how beautiful we are.
Mm.
I mean, I'm sitting here and talking about this now because at least to some extent I've gotten to stage 4. This is how beautiful it is in stage 4. We never know how beautiful you are in stage 4. So we just want to give up. But when you see the beauty of who you are supposed to be without all the baggage of bad mindset, of the shame, of the stigma, you would want to get there. Why does women or anyone that gives birth now, why do they want to get to the 9 months? They just want to see that baby because of the beauty. Same with you. There is something so beautiful in you. Just wait to get there. And when you get there, it's a whole new you, and you'll be so in love with it. Well, I think that's it.
I
I
I
can't talk and keep talking. I think I have to stop saying.
no, I absolutely love that. And it sort of reinforces the age-old saying, one day at a time, just it's not going to happen overnight. And
Yes,
being patient with yourself, that self-care, just taking small steps and you will get there, you know.
yeah,
Um,
yes, yes.
but I love the way you explained it. It made so much sense, and it was nice to hear that way. It made a lot of sense. It was really clear, and I could see each stage. So I think that's going to be really helpful for people because it wasn't overwhelming, and people can easily put themselves into
And
each
relate to it.
stage, relate, yeah, and it is okay. We, as you said, in all parts of life, we go back and forward
And
and
for every time, every time, every time. I can even think of something yesterday that I was trying to do, and I just like went back to it and I didn't get it right. I don't kill myself. We don't. The reason of all this, I feel, is I've learned to, I've observed rather that we've gotten so busy with everything around, but just not with us. We've gotten so busy with life and just not with us, just not with our lives. So a lot of things can be going around me, work, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And I've gotten so used to it. I've gotten so busy in it. And it's taken a lot of things, just not me. I used to say this, and I wish it really, really helps people that number one is let me put it this way. You eat every day. You sleep, at least for those who try to sleep every day. You have a bath, you dress up, you take care of your skin, you take care of your body, you take care of yourself, you go to work, you try to get some money, you have something you do to take care of finances so that you don't have to pay your bills and all of that. We do all these things. All these things are around us. Money is to take care of bills. Eating is to have a good health, to be healthy, physically healthy, and all of that. You have friends, to have some sort of social relationship, and you have some social life and all of that. These things happen around us. What of inside us? We don't do that. You can ask someone, oh, what's your skincare routine? Oh, every morning I do this, I moisturize my skin, I exfoliate a lot of times, I do this, I use this product, I use that product. That's fine. Oh, what's your career like? Oh, my career is like this. I work as this, I do this, I'm in charge of doing this for the company, I'm in charge of doing this. That's for your financial life. Oh, what of your relationship? Oh, I'm in relationship with my partner. My partner is this, I love this because of this, blah, blah, blah. And all that. What of you? What's your mind care routine? What do you tell yourself? How do you tell yourself? And we would never really know these things until we get to the point where we crash. That's when we see the importance of a lot of things. That's when you can see someone that's relatively successful, has a good job, has a good marriage, has a good problem, children or whatever it is, and just tells himself, I'm done with this. You are done because you never really had the mind care routine from the beginning. If we do these things this way, we would learn to value ourselves above everything. I am so pained because you literally see us comparing ourselves. Now, let me go to the point of addiction to really explain what I want to say. In the point of addiction to drugs, for example, to smoking, alcohol, to sex, to all these things. Addiction is like I see myself. Okay, let me say I'm addicted to drugs, for example. I literally do everything possible to get this drug. I can't think without this. I can have a normal, stable relationship, just a normal relationship without this. I can't talk sanely without this. Meaning everything about me revolves around this. What does that mean? That means that I have been reduced to this. So, what I'm now trying to tell people is if you take me first, if I speak to me first, if I have a mind care routine, even as children, start to tell them, you're beautiful. You can do it. You have what it takes. You are not low. Why did, oh, mom, I got back from school. This person said this. That's not who you are. Who are you? Oh, mom, don't worry. I know. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. He doesn't know what he's saying about me. She doesn't know what she's saying about me. Those type of mindsets, such individuals will never reduce their whole self to this. So even if they get to schools tomorrow, or they get to some bad associations, and someone is like, you have to do this, to be part of us, they see themselves bigger than this from the beginning because they already know they are bigger than that. This is where the issue is. The issue is not the drugs. Drugs will always be there. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah.
Alcohol, smoking will always be there. Sex will always be there. So stop fighting drugs. Drugs is not going anywhere. Smoking is not going anywhere. Alcohol would definitely not be going anywhere in the so let's change I think the way we address the issues is the problem, first of all. Let's change the orientation. They're not going anywhere. So stop fighting it. Just work on me. And this will become down. Now will become here. And that's all of it. And one way to work on ourselves, as I've said, is just that we're talking about the problem of relapse. Expect to relapse, but give yourself time. But not just time, but time enough. And when will you know you are in time enough? You will definitely know As I said, you don't talk about what you are in the thing, you talk about what you did to. That's beautiful. And one thing I definitely want to point out before I stop is this. Um, Let me put it this way. So it's good to be patient with yourself, understand yourself, give yourself time, find some sort of associations that would really help to pull you through the process. But know when you're hiding, know when you're just hiding. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is it's one thing to say I'm coming out. It's another thing to hide. Now, let's say in this atmosphere, in this room, for example, I need to leave this room or to come out of this room to my stage two or to my stage three or my stage four or to start my stage three or stage four. I need to come out of this room. Now, I can really go towards the door, open the door, and move out. That's one step. I leave the place where the whole stage one is, go towards the door and open the door and get out. That's one. Sometimes what some people do is they leave the place where the stage one is and hide somewhere else, but never really open the door and come. So it's
Yeah.
good to understand that I can relapse when I come out. I mean, when I come out of the door, I can go in sometimes out of fear, whatever, and keep staying there. That's perfectly normal. But not when you're hiding. Now, when you're hiding means you think you are coming out, but you know you're not coming. You know you're not coming out. How? You are keep, you are still in the fresh atmosphere, environment of my stage one. I'm not actively in it, but I'm still in the room. I'm not actively doing it, but I'm still in the room. Now, let me give you an example, very, very easy example. You're still with the boyfriend or the girlfriend. Oh, he didn't beat me anymore. Yes, but you're still there. What are you doing there? Oh, he said sorry. She said sorry, but you're still there. Another example. Oh, I'm not smoking anymore. Good, but it's still with you. You still have the people, you still have the friends, you still have the atmospheres, the attentions, all the things that take you there, they are still there. Oh, I don't want to lose them. They are just so good, but I really want to come out. You don't want to come out, you just want to hide. That's what you're doing. And what's it about hiding? Hiding is a little bit tricky because it gives you a feeling of you are not in the situation, but doesn't really but you don't really know that you are still in the situation. So it makes you feel that you're not there anymore, but you're still in the room. And that's all that it takes. So even though we can relapse, even though there are times when we definitely will go back, fall, stand, keep taking baby steps and going backwards a little bit sometimes, just be sure you're not hiding. Be very sure you're not hiding. And you will know when you're hiding. It's clear. You can tell every other person you're not, but you will know when you're hiding. That's it.
Easy to do. And I think many people do that. They keep that, as you said, those friends, or
Yeah.
they might keep the equipment they used for smoking their drugs, or they might, yeah, not reveal where their hiding places were for their
Yes.
alcohol, just in case they'll need it again
They,
in the future.
yeah. And you see, one thing about that is hiding will always give you an excuse to hide. So you can say, oh, I'm really trying now and it's pretty hard there. Sometimes it's really hard for me. So I just keep, some sort of help somewhere so that when I get to those bottom parts, it's not easy now, I can use it. You would never not get to the bottom part. That's it. You would never not get to the bottom part. So hiding will always give you an excuse to hide. Hiding will tell you you can't leave. Just stay before you leave. You have to leave when you want to leave, but you are not ready to leave. So just stay first. Hiding will do a lot of things. And it's good because you are not at least in stage one. So they tell themselves, oh, it's good, at least I'm not doing this. I haven't really smoked that much anymore. But if it's still there, you are still in stage one. There is no difference. And it's sad sometimes because a lot of people you can hide for years and years and years and years, and you never really leave that stage until it's probably too late
A
or
lonely
something
place
like
to
that.
be.
It's a very lonely place to be. As much as the fact that being lonely is an issue with this, because if the more you feel alone, the more you may not be able to come out or grow out of these stages. You need to also understand the fact that I have a part to play in this, that no one can play for. I still need to do something that only me can do. Now, there is a difference between being alone and only you doing something. Being alone means you are just there. Being alone doesn't mean you are the only one. I don't know if that makes some sense.
Yeah.
Being alone means you are just there and no one understands, no one can help, nothing can come out of it. This is the end. That's different from only me can do this. Only me can do this means she can't help me even if she wants to. She can only do up to this, and I take it up from here. Only me can take it up from here and continue it. Now, the beauty about that is when you know only me can do this, you know at least people can help you up to a particular stage and you take it up from that stage. But when you feel alone, you feel no one is around, no one can help, no one can assist, no one knows what you've been through. You've been through the worst in life, just you. No one else has been through what you've been through. No one else has experienced it. You know what you're saying. So the alone mentality excludes everybody. The only mentality accepts people but takes responsibility for when it is my decision. And that's what people need to know. I want you to know you're not alone, but I want you to also know there are things only you will do in this journey. I can't do it for you, but I can help you to get there. But you have to take the steps as well. And this is a very important information people must know and differentiate from. So that's basically what I think I would say. And also, what I would really beg people to know is you are not alone. You can't be the only one. As I said initially, like only one person runs stage one to stage two. Only one person. You can have a lot of people cheering from left, right. You can do it, blah, blah, blah. And all. You have to still run. You have to still. So only one person runs. So you can be the only one. But don't think because you're the only one, you are alone. No, you are still not alone. People are around you. People can help you. And even when you relapse, just be patient with yourself. But just be sure you're not hiding as well. And still be patient with yourself. Just be patient. And one thing I would like to say is as well, we really need to know the importance of mental health for the younger ones, like the much little ones. It pains my heart because we tend to do all this when people are much older, when they are in a relationship, when they have gotten a job, when they're in a toxic environment, then we see the importance of mental health. But all this can be preventable if it starts with younger children. If a young child grows up with the mentality of valuing themselves, they wouldn't want to be bullies.
Mm.
They wouldn't want to exert their fake authority or their fake power over someone else just to feel good. No, they are good enough on their own.
Yeah.
They wouldn't want to use the other person as an experiment to make themselves feel good. They wouldn't want to rape a lady because she said, no, I'm not going to date you. No, because they feel I'm good enough. If you don't date me, you're the one making the mistake.
Yeah.
Means we need to start from the younger children. That's where it all begins from. And that's why initially when we were having the talk before we start recording this session, I did ask where the perfection, being a perfectionist came from. Because all this stage one usually comes from a younger age. That's the time. We need to teach people, younger children, how to have a mental health, how to be mentally healthy. We shouldn't just give them food, give them snacks, take them out, make them, no, teach them these things. It's important because these are the things that will build the walls for them such that when they grow much older, they can handle anything. They don't have to go to alcohol just to, be better. They are better. It's very, very important. I wish we get there, but I know we will get there someday. We would definitely get there
We
someday.
will definitely get there. And I think, especially with people like yourself that can help spread the message and be that voice for people, is so, so important. And if it just, it'll relate to so many people, this podcast, but even if it was just one, I contacted a gentleman the other day around male suicide, because it is still, the statistics are so high and it's still not being spoken about. There's still this big stigma around it. And it's a really simple answer, and it's talking. But for a community, society, whatever reason, there's still no talking. And if a message can just hit one person, just to share, talk, reach out, and reaching out doesn't even have to be them talking. If you've got a plan with somebody and they know if you ring them, you are reaching out. Just if you're at the end of the phone, you might not want to discuss what's going on. You could talk about the weather, or you could just sit there in silence, hear each other's breathing. Knowing that that person is at the end of a phone can mean the world of difference.
And mean the world of difference because you just know someone is listening to you or someone is speaking to you. At least you know you've got some attention. Someone's giving you some sort of attention. And attention can be healing, can be relieving, can be helping. Because as I said, most of the times people feel they're alone. But when you know you've got attention from somewhere, no matter where in the world, no matter what the case is with you, it would definitely mean a lot. And sometimes it may be the little things people say that may just take you out of that nonsense thinking of whatever you were thinking about to kill yourself. People can just say, oh, it's this. Do you know this about me? Oh, really? Oh, this. And then you get into a conversation and you tell yourself, why the hell was I trying to kill myself in the first place? Or something like that. It's important for people to reach out, but mostly it's important for people to be given the attention that they need, not the stigma that they receive. It's sad because the stigma is sort of an unwritten thing. It's not written anywhere. It's not like a law. It's just there.
Yeah.
And it's harder to take such things out because I can't just get to a particular place now, pull out the stigma and say, get out of us, get out of the society. No, it's just there. It's just
Yeah.
the stereotype. It's just the mentality. It's just the thinking. And that is definitely going to be some work to change. So I don't even bother about changing the stigma anymore. I'm more particular about talking to people to value their mental health, talking to people to know they are not alone, talking to people to know, you see that thing, you can come out of it. It's just the stage. It can be a stage that lasted 10, 15, whatever number of years. It's still a stage. How do you know you're going to get out of it? Because you're still alive. Come on. If you were
Yeah,
dead, I can say, oh, there's no hope. I mean, you're in stage one and you've gone. You're still alive. That's all that matters. And that's why the greatest war is basically the one that takes your life. And that's why we need to do all we can to educate people against addictions, depressions, frustrations, because it doesn't really stop there. Most times it ends in suicide. Most times. And it shouldn't really be that way. It shouldn't really be that way for any reason. It's a sad, it's really a sad one. Really, really sad one. And when you mentioned about the male person that wanted to commit suicide, it's kind of linked to what the topic was about intersectionality and all of that. Because when people hear a male person, the normal thinking will be supposed to be strong. He's a guy. I mean, he should have some sort of strength, some sort of mental resilience, or whatever it is, and he should be able to, handle his shit or do his business well, blah, 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 blah. And that's part of the stigma that affects mental health. Now, he, in this case, the person, is afraid to speak because of this stigma based on his gender,
mm,
based on whatever it is about him as well. And that's where the stigma based on the intersectionality is coming into place. It shouldn't be. A man or a woman doesn't mean you are stronger in mental health. It just means it has different points of affecting someone. This is what I'm saying. Now, I will put it this way. Men and women are both affected, male and females are both affected mentally. There is no one immune to it. The only difference is the point where it affects someone. Now, I can say females may have some common points of mental health issues, some common points of where they get affected mentally. For example, a lot of ladies have the statistics show that most cases women go through rape. Most cases of rape is mostly associated with the females. There are
yeah,
those males definitely do have this, but I'm just giving like based on majority of what statistics say, most cases has to do with the women in terms of rape. Now, this doesn't mean the men doesn't have theirs. They do have theirs. And what I'm trying to say is men and women, males and females, all have mental health points of issues. The only difference is the places, there are some places where it will be more of women that experience such. And there are some aspects where it can be more of the men that experience such. But there is no place that is because you're a guy, because you're a lady, because you're a this, you're free, you're immune. No, it doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way.
yeah,
And I don't know what to say. It's just happening sometimes. It is. It
yeah,
is. Really, really it is. It's a sad one because sometimes you feel when someone commits suicide, when we hear the levels of these things, it should change the orientation of our environment, of our world, and what happens, and the stigma and stigmatizing it. But it doesn't really do much, though. It doesn't really do much. And that's why, as I said, I'm an advocate for anything pro mental health. Anything pro mental health. It's very important. It is.
definitely. And I think we've heard that today, and it's
Yeah.
beautiful to hear. It's really beautiful to hear. So I thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Um, the podcast was supposed to be about in sectionality, wasn't it? But
Yes, it was.
we we had this point to make today, which I think worked out really, really well because it's a
Yeah, it
message
was.
so people, so many people need to hear. And I mean, you're always welcome back if you want to go with the first plan again. And then we'll probably end up talking about something else.
No, exactly. I understand. I understand. I really am so happy about this opportunity because, as I said, we all need to do as much as we can to get this message. It's the wrong message out there. And I'm sorry to say, the wrong message may not be going anywhere. It will sustain. And also, the triggers are not going anywhere. Alcohol is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Nothing is going anywhere. So we need to kind of address the situation from another angle, which is talking to people about themselves. The drugs will still be the drugs they are 10 years from now, they'll still be. What we need to change is our minds, ourselves. We need to understand the circumstances that we pass through, the negative past that we encountered, and move on from there. It's a pity because we do celebrate New Year's a lot. I mean, in a couple of days, we'll be in a new year. But many of us haven't really lived beyond the years when we had all these negative things happen to us, or the atmospheres and the associations where we got introduced to all these things. Never really lived beyond that. So it's like you see a 50-year-old person, a 45-year-old person, and everything about him mentally is just one event.
Mm.
Just one. It can be just one word. It's as I don't know, it's as sad as that. And so I just wish things get better. I think I need to stop here. I don't want to keep talking. I just wish things get
They
it's
will. We will. There are so many people out there, which is fantastic. And I think people that have been dealing with their mental health understand mental health. I think we all advocate, and I think people that have worked on themselves want to pass on their knowledge and the power that they've gained back in themselves to try and enable other people to feel and get their power back. So, Lawrencia, I thank you so, so much. I really appreciate it.
You're
It was
welcome. I really appreciate being
absolutely
here.
excellent.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Speak
Okay.
soon.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye.
Bye then. Thank you.